YouTube, another IRN Brucaster. Been a while. It's the first one of 2022. You remember this guitar? I don't know if I actually showed it. I had a Vox bass amp a couple of weeks ago, and I got a trade a bass and a guitar, and this was a guitar. So this was originally a Commodore. Never heard of them. You've seen this scratch plate before. This scratch plate I actually painted up for the guitar. It was so bad I had to physically smash it up. This one's good. The only thing I managed to save off that guitar, all the parts of it, was the scratch plate and the knobs. Everything else was just garbage. Yeah, so it's a cheap scratch plate, but I mean, a scratch plate's basically a piece of plastic. I worked out that there wasn't really any way of making a scratch plate any cheaper. So on that Westwood guitar, they'd obviously tried to thought, how can we make a cheaper scratch plate? And they've gone, well, it's a piece of plastic cut to that shape. You can't. So that's what it is. So this one did a wee bit of wiring. I don't know if this might have been done before. So we've got a wee two-way switch here. When it's down, full on strat. Well, not full on strat, because we've got a master tone control and a master high pass filter, which is like the opposite of a tone control. It takes away the bass, giving you sort of really thin sounds if that's what you want. When you flip up this switch, it knocks these two together. So when you get the switch down, it's a 5-way selector. When you've got it up, you get bridge pickup in position 1, position 2, still bridge pickup. Position 3 is these two wired as a humbucker. When you go into position 4, you get these two wired as a humbucker and the neck pickup in parallel, and if you go into the neck, you just get the neck pickup. So it's got two extra sounds. These two is a humbucker, and these two is a humbucker with all three pickups on, basically, but these two wired in series. So playing through the Blackstar HT5 and a 3x12 cabinet. So, bridge pickup. Position 2. It's got I had to leave the original, the best two strat sounds being positions 2 and 4. Don't use that one. Don't play that very often anyway. Middle pickup. Position 4. Another one of my favourites. And then the neck. And the tone control takes away some of the treble. I'm going to put it back up again. The high pass filter takes away the bass, so you can end up with funk. Quite nice. Might imagine that might be quite good for. Go in there. Take away the treble. Can I get a nice? Might be able to get quite a nice acoustic sort of sound. Humbucker, middle pickup, humbucker mode. Governor distortion. Single coil. Humbucker. Then humbucker plus neck pickup. Really annoying bit in with the drum cracks, don't crack. There, that's really annoying it. More distortion, rap pedal. Take away some of the treble, and some of the bass. Bridge. Humbucker. That bit of skipping out the drum beat's really annoying. More distortion, the high fuzz pedal. You really hear the fuzz pit, the thing they work in there, the humbucker thing working there, so you get the neck. Humbucker. No strat should sound like this. These strings are just not it, so I've lost the E. Bit too much excessive bending without bending the strings in first. And the E. yeah, so this guitar's actually pretty good. I kind of got it in a trade, and it was like, it's already blue, so I didn't paint it blue. And I was like, well, orange scratch plate and that, bit of fancy pickups, bit of fancy wiring, and that can be a brucaster. I could have, I suppose, sanded that down to make it a bit more Fender shaped, but I'm not pretending it's going to be a Fender. But quite decent quality. If you ever see a Commodore Strat, it's not one of the really shit ones. It's kind of fine. I did do a wee bit of fretwork to get it playing all the way up the neck. The tuners are all right. They're not the expensive type. They're the sort of cheap type, but they work. It doesn't go out of tune well. It did there when you've just put new strings on it, but the most expensive guitar in the world, you put strings on it, don't stretch them in, and then play big bends on it, it's gonna, the strings stretch. Yeah, so everything is A-okay on it. I don't actually have a trem bar for this one, but to be honest, when you're like on a Strat like this, I would normally have it hard-tailed anyway, unless you, I'm sure it probably just takes a normal size trem bar. I might even have a look for that. It might be in the advert. I just found out there's someone contacted my Mad Malco Facebook page and says there's a IRN BRU. I'm not sure which one it is. An orange one with a blue scratch plate on a wall in a bar in Portugal. So they're all over the world. So basically, ideally, if you want to buy this, it would be from somewhere exotic. Would be nice. I don't know. Like Portugal's pretty far away. No, I don't know. It was Australia or South America, something like that. Somewhere they like IRN BRU. Unfortunately, I think the pub was called the Bulldog or something like that. So it's like for people who want to go to Portugal on holiday, but I'm not eating any Polish food, any Portuguese food or any Portuguese beer. I'll go to an exotic location and go to an English pub, or I suppose British if it's got IRN BRU in it. IRN BRU's Scottish, not English. And that picture of Donald Trump. I assume I just looked up images for IRN BRU. I assume it's because it's the same colour as IRN BRU. I don't know. I have no political views on Donald Trump. Well, I kind of do, but I'm not saying them out. I don't know much about it. So decent wee strat, and that definitely the what I used it for. You can fit a phase switch, which kind of sounds a similar sort of thing. But what I was using it there for is that if you take away all the treble, all the bass, it kind of sounds like a piezo acoustic. I mean, it's definitely got an acousticy. So it actually may be quite useful. Yeah, doesn't sound like an acoustic. Kind of does. Or go to the thinnest pickup. So there's the thinnest sound in a Strat, which a lot of guitars have the humbucker in the bridge. A lot of Strats just because people don't like the really thin sound. Which is, you have to admit, it's pretty thin there, but if you turn the bass back on again, it's still pretty thin, but not too bad. Yeah, so I will be doing a video on how to wire up this switch, because I will be doing it again. It just seems like such an obvious thing to put in. What was put in before, it's like just trying to not make it pure insanely complicated. I can put more switches in, but the other switch I like putting in is the Gilmore one, which kind of hot wires the neck pickup on, so you can get the outside two coils, which gives you a sort of Telecaster type thing. But I think this guitar, or basically anyone beginner or any Strat, what you really want is, you want a Strat, obviously. That's great, you know, Strats are, it's a Strat, but you're kind of going to be trying to play some Black Sabbath or something. It's like you really need a humbucker in there. So this one gives you the humbucker sound. It gives you two humbucker sounds. You get these wired as a humbucker, which is significantly fatter, and well, it's not simulating. It is a humbucker. It's a wide spaced humbucker, I suppose you'd call it, because the coils are quite far apart. You know, rather than being both together. So you get humbucker, and then you get humbucker with the neck pickup, which makes it a bit more exciting. So, a nice guitar. I shouldn't be surprised. I did spend quite a bit of time on it to make it nice. I'm always fearful about getting guitars in trades and ones I've never heard of, that you're going to end up with one that you can't make work. You know, guitars do get to a certain point where none of it's good enough to actually ever, you know, when you start trying to adjust things, it doesn't adjust because it's just too cheap. This isn't. This is fine. This is kind of, I don't know, just Squire level or sort of decent Squire level, not the really bad Squires, but like, and someone was talking to me the other night about wood. Like the wood that they made these out of, this must be 20 years old, probably even more, maybe 20, 30, 25 years old, something like that. And I think there was more wood, or wood was more available. So when you were building budget guitars, you know, it does have actually quite a nice rosewood fingerboard, which, to be honest, you don't even really get a nice rosewood fingerboard in anything under 500 quid these days. And the neck wood is kind of a nice I don't, medium gloss. It's just much nicer wood. Look, compare the wood that this is made out of compared to what you get in, you know, like Squire bullets and stuff like that. It's miles. It's a much more expensive piece to start with, but I think that's just because there was more and they didn't have the same amount of restrictions on it. Sorry, does it keep focusing again? I don't know how to stop it doing that. Someone complained that my camera kept auto-focusing. I'll try and not move so much. I think it's maybe something to do with daylight. Yeah, so I'm going to offer this to the Blitzkreig shop, see if he wants it. If not, we're going on Facebook Marketplace. But as usual, I'll be selling it for the sort of price you would expect to pay for a new guitar of this quality that's not been set up. Whereas this has been set up. This has had, like, I mean, buy a Commodore. What did I say? Commodore, not Commander. A Commodore guitar. If you know how to fix it and set it up, it's well worth doing. If you don't, it's going to cost you 100 quid in a shop, which is kind of getting close to how much I'm going to be selling the guitar for. But it's fine. It's nice. I have no issues playing this. I even took I had the bridge completely to bits because it seized up, and I had all the saddles had a WD-40 bath where I put them in a wee plastic tub with a sealed top, filled it with a big scoosh of WD-40 and shook it, left it a few days, and then worked out all the wee grub screws, cleaned them, then put them all back in again. You know, it's like an hour's worth of work purely on making the bridge work, and now it's set up and intoned. You probably never have to touch it again, but you know, these are the wee things. If you don't know what you're doing with a guitar, it's like, if the intonation's out, you know, it's kind of it's just basically to do with the length of the string. If that's wrong, the guitar just sounds rubbish, and that's when the number of guitars you get is like, oh, I want new tuners because it won't stay in tune. It's like, well, have you looked at the nut? Because it's probably the nut, not the tuners. It's like, oh, it doesn't sound very good. So I bought Seymour Duncan's for it, and you're like, right. So now it's like a louder, purer, out of tune sound rather than just being intoning the thing correctly. Rocking. I can imagine talk for 20 minutes. It was only meant to be a 5-minute video. Rock on. See you during the week. What we're doing this week? We have quite a few videos. I'm just about to do another hour walk. Go and get my car from the garage. And I forgot to put on a Mad Malco t-shirt, so I'm Black Sabbath today. Rock on. Catch you later.